Sunday morning, and we got quite a bit of stuff done yesterday. I did figure out what was wrong with the gauge, and it's simply the ground wire from the sending unit to the battery. Apparently one of the connections went bad, or a wire got broken. It's probably from the battery bouncing around, so installing the hold down should resolve that problem. Should have done that a long time ago. We also glued up the swim platforms, got those put back together so we can install those today, and did a little bit of shopping. I picked up these, which have a threaded insert in them, and we'll use those to hold down the battery hold down. They're not stainless steel, I don't think, so I'm not sure how good of an idea this is. We may be replacing them later with stainless steel wing nuts, but they look kind of cool, so we'll run with that for now. And I've got the Plasti Dip, which I bought this the other day, and when I bought this I thought I was going to use 1x1 tubing for the hold down on the battery tray. A friend of mine has a sign shop, and he gave me a piece of 1x2, which I think will work a lot better because it will give a larger bearing surface on the battery, which it fits in here but just barely. So I think I'm going to take this back, and they actually make this stuff now in a spray can, and try that out and see how it works. So we've got quite a bit done, but we still have a lot to do. I'm probably going to start with trying to get the battery hold down fabricated and installed. Okay, the installation for these things has been fairly simple so far. I went ahead and hooked it on up here to my point, stretched it down, then marked my hole and drilled it. Now the instructions say to use a 7/16 hole. The only problem is the hardware that's provided is metric, and it does not go through a 7/16 hole. I'm still trying to figure out why we decided that we needed to try to convert to the metric system, because we've been doing that my whole life and we're still not converted. I'm going to go to the store and buy some stainless steel 7/16 or galvanized bolts and chunk these. So I think once we do that, should work out great. We'll go ahead and get the bolts bolted on and see if we can cinch it down. Okay, so far I'm pretty happy with these ratcheting tie downs. I went and found some stainless steel hardware and put them on. Once I got the 7/16 hardware, they bolted right up naturally, since the hole is 7/16. And as you can see, the boat is not separating from the hull now. So far I really love them. We'll try them out and see how they actually do headed down the road and going to the lake. Okay, I've been moving around this battery box trying to figure out where I want to put the battery ultimately. I think I've got it about where I need it. I need a little bit of distance between the bilge and this little block so that I can tab it in. And then I want this back up against the transom, which still gives us plenty of room vertically. And I think I'll probably put a cleat up here in the front to, completely keep that from sliding around. And the first thing we need to do is work on routing some wires. There's a bunch of stuff back here that was never really finished up. It was just kind of brought back here and essentially just kind of zip tied up and left to hang out. So we've got some wire management to do, but the first thing I'm going to do is put this fuel line up and get it out of the way. I like using these rubber lined clamps. They work really well and they help prevent things from braiding. Here's the swim platforms. I got those glued up last night. I will probably put a little T-coil on them and put them back on today. The battery tray is a little bit tall. This battery box is a little bit taller than our battery, so I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch off of the lip with a table saw. out too bad. A little bit of sanding and we'll have a nice edge and a shorter box. This is one of the coolest tools I've bought in a long time. It is a Milwaukee dry cut metal saw. And it has these carbide teeth that will actually cut through steel. And it's a whole lot faster than a abrasive type blade. And it doesn't make all that black crap everywhere. And the other thing is it creates pretty much burr-free cuts. So it eliminates a lot of sanding. So I don't know that I'm supposed to use this blade on aluminum, but I guess we'll see how well it works. There you go. Nice little cut. Quick and easy. I finished up fabricating the bracket. I took a file to it, did a little sanding on it. I think I'm going to sand this whole thing down. I don't know, maybe with some 80 grit with the orbital sander before we do the plasti dip. But anyhow, I found this, and I used this for the to go underneath the gas tank. Frisco Boater on iBoats did that on his, and I kind of took that same thing. Matter of fact, I think this is probably the same thing he used because it's a floor mat from either Home Depot or Lowe's, but this is something I had left over. So what we're going to do is use this rubber for a cushion between our bar that will go across the top of it and the battery, so that we don't have the aluminum directly on the battery. And we need a piece that's about 2 inches wide, which this is 2 inches from this side to this side of this little piece that's sticking up. And then I need something about 7 inches this way, but this actually works out from here to here 7.5, so that'll work out pretty nicely. It'll still fit in between our 2 bolt holes, and what we'll do once we cut this out is right up in here and here, I'm going to actually put a pop rivet in there to rivet this rubber to that piece so that we don't lose it. I'll go ahead and cut this out. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Probably get out a really sharp new blade and get after it. Okay, I've got everything assembled and cut. Worked out really well. The only thing we have left to do is to put the plasti dip on the hold down and then rivet the rubber to it, and then I just went ahead and put the all thread in and put some Loctite on it, so that should hold it in place. And we'll go ahead and do the plasti dip thing, see how that turns out, and I think we're almost done with this part of it. I got the swim platforms back on, and what I decided to do is I tightened down the back screws, and then the rest of the screws, actually all of them, I put lock washers and flat washers on, and I backed them off a quarter of a turn, all of them other than the back ones, which it's still secure, but I'm thinking, you know, they've got a little bit of tension on those washers, so maybe that will give it enough room to expand and contract and do what it needs to do. So anyway, we'll try that for this season and kind of see what happens, although there's not much of a season this year. It's only about another month and a half, and things will start getting cold again. So I've got the battery hold down bracket way out there. Putting the plasti coat on it, or plasti dip, I guess. I don't know. I'm using the spray. So far it seems really thin, which doesn't surprise me, but we'll put multiple coats on it and kind of see how it turns out. So jury's still out on that, and it's hot out here, so I think I'm going to take a break.